She's back. Elizabeth Moffly is running for Charleston County Auditor. In this special edition of Quintin's Close-Ups, I sit down with her one-on-one. Elizabeth, it's so good to see you.
I'm going to try to smile bigger than you. It was great to see you too, Quintin.
Yeah, I appreciate this. It's been a while since I've seen you.
It has been. I'm not even sure, 2 years?
Oh, maybe. Last year. Yeah, I interviewed you right before I went to Columbia. And since that time, things have taken a turn for you. I'm wondering, what is it like to be Elizabeth Moffly these days?
I'm still paying attention to what's going on in the public. That's how I got involved with public service, was how it affects us all.
Right.
Which is what piqued my interest. And my kids were a little older when I was able to get involved in public service, and I'm ready to return.
Yeah. Speaking of which, you just announced that you're going to run for auditor of Charleston County.
I did.
Against Peter Tecklenburg in this fall in November. Why Elizabeth Moffly? Why now?
Well, I had been considering it for a while since I had gotten off the school board. I enjoyed my service there and my advocacy for the taxpayer.
Right.
And I feel like I can offer the same as the auditor. It's also a great opportunity to have a platform to look at some tax policies that are legislated.
Okay.
For one that I'm interested in is yachts.
Right.
They have a 10.5% tax and we're chasing them out. And when they're here, it's a $4 million economy. And when we chase them out after 180 days, we're losing $4 million. And I'm a big boater,
right.
And I'm so, I boat.
Yes, indeed. And from what I understand, you want to run against, on accountability, communication, and transparency. Mm-hmm. Tell me, how do you define those three?
Well, for the auditor, most people I don't think understand what the auditor does.
Right.
They understand who they pay their taxes to,
Sure.
which is the treasurer,
Right.
but the auditor ensures that your tax bill is accurate, that for your personal property and real property. But the biggest part of the auditor's office is ensuring that the taxing municipalities understand what the anticipated tax revenue collections are going to be so that they can have a balanced budget. And one of the biggest of those budgets is Charleston County School District.
Right.
And there was legislation, I'm not sure where it stands right now, but I have no doubt it will pass if it hasn't already passed, that the auditor will be reviewing the school district's budget to ensure that they have actual correct revenues that they're projecting.
And speaking of Charleston County School District, as you know, they're going through a huge issue with their budget deficit. If you were on the school board right now, what would you be doing?
Well, one of the things that I did do was I had called for an audit
Right.
the whole time I served.
Sure.
And I could only get 4 votes. I couldn't get 5. And so it was very interesting, the transformation
Right.
after I left, that they decided that might be a good idea.
Okay.
And so they made these discoveries.
Wow.
In reality, we were always putting in fund balance. Our fund balance had actually gotten quite big. We were a little over $50 million in fund balance, which I thought was substantial. They've since drained through it pretty readily. But annually, we were putting in at least $10 million to balance the budget.
Wow. And as you know, last July, Dr. Jarita Postway came on as superintendent. I'm wondering, what letter grade would you give her right now, superintendent?
Well, she walked into a hornet's nest.
Right.
And so I think she's trying to find her legs, and she has a lot of good people around her, and she's done some house cleaning, and she's brought in others, and I think at the moment she's doing a good job.
Yeah. Personally, as we sit here, how are you doing these days?
Well, my son was murdered,
Right.
and so that's been difficult. We miss him every day. He actually still sits on my dining room table. They just had a preliminary hearing, which the judge did find probable cause, so it will move forward.
Right.
I would like to see the other 2, there were 3 involved. I would like to see the other 2 apprehended, and justice be brought, for a closure, because it's like reliving it. There's no closure.
Wow. Well, Elizabeth Moffly, it's always good talking to you. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate this.
Well, Quintin, it's always great to be with you, and I look forward to see what the outcome is in November with these crazy presidential races.
Yeah.
Peter won in 2012 because it was an Obama year. So we'll see what happens in 2016. And the other interesting thing, which most people don't know, even though you're elected in November, you do not take office until July 1st,
Wow.
after the fiscal year. And something I would like to do once I am the auditor, I'm going to talk positive, is I would like to do an audit, like a legislative audit council, which it is a state agency because it's a constitutional office. And so to come in and get them to maybe do some, find some efficiencies or places that we could improve. And so that's something I would like to do as well.
Okay, we'll be looking forward to that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate this. Thank you.